I'm Isaac Hartman, and I'm doing a speech on sea cucumbers. Now, I picked sea cucumbers as a topic because I didn't know much about them. I knew they existed, I knew they lived in the ocean, and that they aren't actually cucumbers, they are animals. But every time I saw them on National Geographic or Animal Planet or anything like that, all they did was poop. And that was the only thing they were featured doing. And I figured that there's probably a little bit more to sea cucumbers than pooping. And thankfully, it turns out there is. So, I'm going to talk about sea cucumbers today. Now, sea cucumbers are related to starfish and sea urchins. They are echinoderms. That is their phylum. Their class is Holothroidea. A sea cucumber is scientifically referred to as a Holothroidean. But this is only their class. There are many, many species of sea cucumbers, and they vary so much in their anatomical structure and everything like that. Anatomically speaking, they're complicated, and they're unique, and they're a little mysterious. There are certain aspects that raise eyebrows and raise questions. So, sea cucumbers live on the ocean floor. They are scavengers, but some species are capable of swimming higher. They like plankton, they like decaying organisms, whatever they can pretty much find at the bottom of the ocean. Now, down there, they actually make up 90% of biological mass. This is due to the density of their bodies. In comparison to such things as jellyfish, they're much denser and they're made up of more mass. So they make up the vast majority of biological mass on the ocean floor. So, sea cucumbers have cylindrical bodies, hence their name cucumber. And I'm actually going to draw you a picture of one on this piece of paper here in lieu of a whiteboard. So they have a cylindrical body, and underneath their skin, which is typically leathery, is a skeleton. Now, the skeleton isn't actually all that important. It's made up of various plates, numerous plates, a lot of plates, that is mostly connected by tissue. So their skeleton is mostly made up of tissue. Here we are. There we go. Most sea cucumbers have tentacles around their mouth, which allows them to collect food and other various functions, sifting through sand and all that stuff. And behind their oral cavity is a pharynx, which allows more digestive control. Around their oral cavity is a neural ring. Is a ring of neural tissue. And this is the closest thing sea cucumbers have to brains. This ring right here sends nerves to their tentacles and their intestines, but it's been surgically removed in multiple studies, and the sea cucumbers functioned perfectly fine afterwards. They did everything they needed to. It seems as though this brain of theirs is completely unnecessary for any function that they have. So that's a little mysterious. Some sea cucumbers have stomachs, some of them. In others, the digestive tract leads straight to the small intestine. Now, the intestine is pretty straightforward. It goes down the length of the sea cucumber's body and loops typically 3 times before reaching the anus. Finish drawing that. There you are. Now, being related to the starfish, sea cucumbers, most of them, have tube feet that run along the bottom of their bodies. Now, these tube feet are controlled with hydraulic pressure, which is assisted in subspecies by a haemal ring, also located around the oral cavity. There we are. Tube feet. Other species of sea cucumber do not have tube feet at all, and their locomotion is created by contracting and expanding their bodies, much like worms. As far as reproduction is concerned with sea cucumbers, they're pretty typical as far as oceanic life is concerned. They simply release sperm and ova into the water, which fertilize on their own. After being fertilized, these eggs develop into larvae, which is free swimming, And these larvae don't look like sea cucumbers to begin with, but they get there eventually. Now, considering that they're so anatomically different and unique and varied, sea cucumbers are capable of some pretty cool things. There are 2 species of sea cucumbers currently discovered that are not restricted to the ocean floor. They can swim. They have developed fins on either end of their bodies and are commonly mistaken for jellyfish. Some species can aestivate, which is very similar to hibernation. If the water temperature around them gets too hot, the sea cucumber will go into a dormant state in order to save its life. Now, a really cool thing that certain species can do is control the amount of collagen in their bodies, and their body wall is actually made up of collagen. So this allows them to liquefy and reform their body wall. If they need to go through a crack, if they need to hide in a crack from predators in which their body normally wouldn't be able to fit, they can actually liquefy their body wall and reform it later if they need to, by controlling the amount of collagen in their bodies, which they get from the water around them. Now, sea cucumbers are actually really common in Chinese cuisine. It is not uncommon to find dried sea cucumbers in a Chinese market. They are farmed in China, and there is a huge market for them. There's actually an ongoing black market in which 1 pound of sea cucumber can sell for as high as 300 American dollars. So they're pretty popular. There's a demand for them, certainly. There are actually gangs that battle in the Yucatan Peninsula over the waning illegal market for sea cucumbers because it is that lucrative of a business. Now, many people actually find that sea cucumbers have medicinal potential. It's believed in many medicinal practices that they have the potential to alleviate pain and other such things. There was a single study done on mice, an unreported number of mice, but there was a study done on mice, that reported that injection of sea cucumber extract actually helped to alleviate internal pain in the mice. So, sea cucumbers have potential. They are mysterious, they're unknown, they're very, very unique, and there are very, very many different species, but they can be helpful, and they actually do more than poop, which is great. Honestly, I think that's wonderful. So, thanks for listening, and I hope you learned something about sea cucumbers today.